Hello and welcome to another Geek Jabber video. My name is Tim and we're back again in GW Basic on the 486 running through some basic programming concepts. So you might remember from our last video we were working on lines 40 and 50, which we were using to create tests to make sure that the number that we'd put in was actually between 1 and 10, which is what we'd actually asked for. And we're now taking this a little bit further, and we're going to do what's known as recursion. So a recursion is basically the fancy term for doing the same thing over and over until a certain condition is met, and that's something computers are actually very good at. So I'm going to demonstrate two ways of doing recursion that cover two different circumstances. The first, we'll start at line 70, and we're going to count to number, and number is the number between 1 and 10 that we picked from before, and we're going to count from 1 until we hit that number. So down here we've got a for loop. So a for loop is perfect for this sort of scenario because a for loop is designed for doing something a certain number of times. So we've got here for I equals 1 to number. So we're using the variable called I to count from 1 to the number that we put in before. We're then coming down to line 90, print I, which basically tells it to put that number onto the screen. And then we've got line 100, which is next I, which basically means we've finished doing the loop, go back and do it again. So that's basically what that does. Now, there's actually a second type of loop. So the for loop, as I mentioned, is when you know you have to do something a certain number of times. But you might have other conditions that you want to use to break the loop. So you're not necessarily counting, you might have something else that you want to use to break the loop. That's where you would use this second type of loop. So we've got, so we'll go over this here. Print, that was fun, let's do it again. And we've got this variable here. I've called it J. The earlier one was I, this one we're calling J. And we're starting this actual while loop. So this is where you'd set up another condition you might want to use. So while J is less than or equal to number, then we're printing J, we're adding 1 to J, so that's what this let statement does. So let J equals J plus 1. So that's the condition that we're creating. And then line 150, we have when, which is basically, this is the end of the loop, go back and do it again. So let's run this and see what it actually does. So we'll go, what is your name? Will be boring. Let's go 6. And you can see here, those are the two loops counting between 1 and 6. So that is basic recursion. Well, anyway, I'll wrap this video up here. So, as always, if you want to like, dislike, subscribe, you know where to do that. If you want to go into the comments or support the channel, links are in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.